Hello, aviators. Yeah, I want to talk to you about owner assist annuals. This is part of my series of making aircraft ownership a little more affordable. Um, First thing, not all mechanics are going to agree to owner assist annuals, and I happen to agree with that in some respect. Um, you always get the same story usually that, hey, I just want to assist, I want to learn more about my airplane, and that may be true, but my experience, it typically comes down to the owner wants to save money. They want to do a couple of things, and usually what happens is, well, first off, the only way I do owner assist annual is if it's at your own hangar. Um, if it's at my hangar, I prefer just be left alone, but I got all my tools. I don't want anyone else using my tools. I'm pretty particular where I'll keep everything organized. And, you know, I just don't want someone snooping around my hangar more than they need to. So drop your plane off, leave. But if I'm going to your hangar and you want to do an owner assist, there's a few things you can do to help make that more, feasible. And we'll talk about that. But first and foremost, if you're doing it just to save money, it doesn't always end up that way, and I'll tell you why. I got a block rate I charge for an annual for, like, say, I got a set price for 172. When the customer says, hey, I want to assist, well, my block rate goes out the window, and I say, okay, I'm charging an hourly rate. And what often happens is, because I'm having to supervise everything that the owner is doing, it's actually taking longer than what would typically take just myself to get in, do the inspection, repair what needs to be repaired, accomplish the ADs, close it up. So unless the customer, you do get some customers that are AMPs, they're just not IAs, that's a little different story then. But if you're just a private pilot, you own the airplane, you really don't have any mechanical experience, then it actually ends up costing you more. But unless you follow what I'm about to tell you. On, say, the 172, and each airplane's a little bit different, and I think as I get more, going forward, like I said, I get a Cherokee in, I'll do, some things that can help out on a Cherokee, and then, a Bonanza and a Mooney, so forth. But we'll start this series with the 172. And basically, my expectation is an owner assist annual is the day before I show up, I want the plane opened up, ready for me. And I'll do a walk around with this airplane to kind of show you what I mean by it being opened up. All right, first to start off with the obvious, the cowling is removed, top and bottom cowling. And do yourself a favor, before you move that cowling, particularly on a Cessna with a nose landing light, disconnect that wire first. We just dropped that bottom cowling if you don't know that already. But it's a good idea to go ahead and test that landing light before, because I'd rather know at the very beginning if we got landing light in op or not, rather than get everything cowed back up and test it and kind of find out if you didn't. You could have done that step one and known if the landing light was in op, and we need to look into it. But you can drain the oil. This oil has already been drained. By the way, this is not an owner assist. I'm doing this annual, but I just want to go through and educate someone who has say a 172, 150, 152, even a 182, how far to open this thing up and stop. Okay. As far as firewall forward, my preference is just take the cowlings off, drain the oil, and don't go any further. Walk around to the wings, open up all the inspection panels. You can see I left the screws in right here. I just rotate the panel, 180 out, left the screws. So I know where the hardware is at. I know where the panel's at. So anyways, I see some people, they remove these plates, put them on a bench, and next thing you know, I got a bench full of plates and hardware, and I'm trying to guess where everything's going. Do it this way, everything's in a spot. Drop this fairing down if it has it. Open up these panels. Pretty much any inspection panel you see on the wing, go and open up, but leave the panel actually attached to the wing and the hardware reinstalled. It is not necessary to take the wingtip off. If during the inspection I find I need to get into the wingtip to further investigate because I see something, we'll take it off at that point, but just leave it on for now. You got these panels back here at the back. Okay. Go through the interior of the airplane. Basically just take the two front seats out and stop right there. Okay. Now so I let the back seat in. Alright, I'm going to shut this off because I got a oh, sorry about that. I had to shut the recording off. There's an MU2 that was starting up outside and had to wait for him to taxi out. But back to the inspection. You know, you got this inspection panel here. You got the 2 panels back here at the tail to remove. And there's one right underneath here. A lot of people forget. But go and remove that panel. Make your way around the airplane. By the way, this is just a beautiful 172 if you haven't noticed that already. But got that panel. There's not an inspection panel down here, but go and take a look. Look at your own airplane. Okay. Baggage compartment. You can take out that bulkhead right here, and then that's where I'd stop. Well, you can take the ELT out too if you want, but there's not a whole lot in the interior that I really like my customers to mess with because a lot of these older interiors are brittle. They can break very easy if you're not real careful with them. And not every single panel has to be removed. And normally I could just fold the carpet back, look at a couple panels in there. You know, I stick a flashlight, a mirror. In fact, lately I've been just sticking this GoPro down there. And you'd be amazed how much you can see just dropping a GoPro down the inspection panel with good lighting, how much you can see. Alright, make your way back around to this wing. Okay. See all the inspection panels removed. Oh, I didn't mention it, but if you got wheel pants, just take the ones off on the main. The nose will come off later, but we got to set the plane down on the tail to do that. And if you haven't done that before, well, in fact, I suggest just leaving that on. Let the mechanic do that when he's ready to grease the nose wheel. Okay. All right. You see, I left this wing tip intact. And get your shelf and be organized. You know, everything for this plane that I took off so far is just sitting on this shelf. And only things of this airplane is on it. Okay. Come around to these inspection panels. And one thing I want to mention, you can't take the spinner off, but I'll stop right there to leave everything else intact. And you see that red mark? When I took the spinner off, I made the mark there. And then there. That's always good to market, so you can put it right back on the exact same place it goes. That way, you know, the screws line up, and theoretically it should be balanced. But that's pretty much it. This will save the mechanic a couple of hours when he comes out to do the inspection. And then, depending on what kind of arrangement you have made with your mechanic, at that point, either he'll ask you, you know, do more stuff. He might pull the wheel off and have you grease the bearings. In fact, I'll make another video show you how to properly remove a tire, remove a wheel assembly, and grease the bearings and what you're looking for. It's not just greasing, also inspecting the bearings. And I'll show you some things to look for. But that's coming later in another video. I got another video as far as cutting open the filter and inspecting that. If you haven't seen it, I invite you to go and watch that video. How to properly cut open a filter and inspect the paper media. But that's about it. That's about, you know, this will save you and help you a lot. You know, in the long run, do this and then come back later and just put the panels back on. Is one way to save money. Now, if you want to actually learn about your airplane, stick with the mechanic if that's an arrangement you have. But don't be surprised that if you're going to shadow the mechanic, or he's got to shadow you, that this could actually end up costing you more in the long run. But like I said, talk with your mechanic, see what he's comfortable with, if he even allows owner assist annuals. But this is my suggestion, if you do agree, to at least have the plane in this condition before he shows up. All right, thanks for watching.